Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to our show with a selection of 30 retro photos. Write in the comments the most interesting photo in your opinion. Appreciate our work by subscribing and commenting with your favorite photo. And don't forget, enjoy the show, and we're start. British model Maria Whittaker 1987. My mother's older sister Mary in a glass plate negative taken about 1916 in a family home in San Francisco. (1906), Kansas City Club, Wyandotte and West 12th STS, Kansas City, Missouri. Popcorn, anyone? Ruins of Pettibone Brothers, New Montgomery Street. San Francisco in the aftermath of the earthquake and fire of April 18, 1906. Circa 1907. Electric locomotive, New York Central Hudson River RR. May 1940. The supermarket in Durham, North Carolina. Back when self-service groceries were enough of a novelty that photographers put the name for them in quote marks. May 1940. Outside of the tobacco warehouses in Durham, North Carolina. April 1941. Negro boys on Easter morning, South Side Chicago. Saturday, May 25, 1940. Interior of General Store at Stem, Granville County, North Carolina, with high school boys dressed up because it's election day. November 1940. Mr. George Howe lives in the cellar of what was formerly his house. The top part was completely destroyed in the hurricane. He runs a small farm near Canterbury, Connecticut. November 1940. Mr. George Howe lives in the cellar of what was formerly his house. The top part was completely destroyed in the hurricane. He runs a small farm near Canterbury, Connecticut. November 1940. Ledyard, Connecticut. Two of the Crouch family boys coming home for the Thanksgiving Day dinner after a morning of hunting in the woods. The beautiful Sophia Loren 1970. December 1941. Bending reinforcing steel which will be used in construction of Shasta Dam. Shasta County, California. December 1941. Workman at Shasta Dam plays poker. Shasta County, California. December 1941. Shasta County, California. Segments of penstock pipe which will be used to conduct water from the reservoir formed by Shasta Dam to the hydroelectric turbines. January 1942. Petaluma, Sonoma County, California. Candling eggs in an egg packing plant. January 1942. Petaluma, Sonoma County, California. Packing eggs into cartons. January 1942. Petaluma, Sonoma County, California. In the chicken pharmacy. Poultry raising exclusively for egg production on a scientific basis. February 1942. Tulare County, California. FSA Farm Workers Camp. Girls in the recreation room. February 1942. Tulare County, California. FSA Farm Workers Camp. At the movies. Not to be outdone by our previous FSA photo, we have 2 birders here, and 3 birds. February 1942. Woodville, California. FSA Farm Workers Community. Demonstration of pressure spot to stop arterial bleeding at the first aid class. February 1942. Woodville, California, FSA Farm Workers Community. Son of agricultural worker at their garden house. February 1942. 11 Mile Corner, Arizona. FSA Farmworkers Community. Boys learning to garden in the vocational training class. This is vocational training as provided for in the Smith-Hughes Bill. February 1942. 11 Mile Corner, Arizona. FSA Farmworkers Community. Boys learning to garden in the vocational training class. This is vocational training as provided for in the Smith-Hughes Bill. Columbus, Georgia, circa 1966. The young lady one step farther along on the road to beautiful. Friday Night Lights circa 1962. A high school football game from the News Photo Archive. Location: somewhere around the 40-yard line. Friday Night Lights circa 1962. A high school football game from the News Photo Archive. Location: somewhere around the 40-yard line. From around 1957 comes this news archive photo of a switching locomotive getting extricated from a slight mishap just outside the Associated Metals Richmond branch, which would put it in the Bay Area north of Oakland. Okay, kids, who left that penny on the track? From around 1958 comes this news archive photo of a safety-tested, used Oldsmobile, a two-tone 1956-98 Deluxe Holiday Coupe, to be specific. Low miles, only driven to church, never smoked in, must see to appreciate. Here we are in circa 1953 Chicago with a post office employee under arrest. Do not fold, spindle or mutilate, or else. The country club pool open for the summer. Lifeguard courtesy of the Junior League. From Columbus, Georgia, around 1960 comes this news archive photo of an amateur radio operator and his assistant, shortwave Sally. This just in from the press room of the Columbus, Georgia, Ledger-Inquirer. Women's International Bowling Congress marks 50th anniversary. From circa 1962 comes this news archive photo of two lady bowlers who look like they're ready to hit the nearest lanes and bust out some sick back alley moves. Columbus, Georgia, circa 1954. Here we are back at Rucker Oldsmobile, where the used car du jour is this pristine 1951 Pontiac Catalina. If you're ready to trade, Warache Hank is ready to deal. Columbus, Georgia, circa 1960. Eufaula, Alabama, at Columbus. It looks to have been a good night for the Tigers. From around 50 years ago comes this uncaptioned news archive negative that might have been used to illustrate a newspaper feature on trends in 70s menswear. And what the men swear could curl your hair. But probably not this particular hair. December 1955. Columbus, Georgia. Christmas decorations on Broadway. From around 1960 in Columbus, Georgia, comes this news archive snap of Baker Lion number 13 liberating the basketball from an opposing player who does not look happy. But that's the way the ball bounces in high school hoops. November 27, 1965. Iron Bowl, Alabama vs. Auburn. The Tide swamped the Tigers 30-3 at Legion Field in Birmingham. Columbus, Georgia, circa 1956. Police cars at Muskogee County Jail. Let's be careful out there. Columbus, Georgia, circa 1964. JC's Golden Gloves Physicals. The first rule of Fight Club: you do not talk about Fight Club. This circa 1958 Candlelight Candid offers a glimpse of the Columbus Ledger-Inquirer city desk during a power outage. Start the presses. Chicago circa 1948. Dr. Norman Vincent Peale. Celebrity clergyman whose 1948 page-turner, A Guide to Confident Living, was but a preface to his greatest hit, 1952's The Power of Positive Thinking. American actress Marissa Mates, 1962. February 2, 1954. Actress Hope Lang and diving instructor Chuck Dierksmeyer diving off the Florida coast. Lang posed on seawall with an assortment of scuba equipment. New York, 1888. Bandits Roost, 59 1/2 Mulberry Street, Mulberry Bend. Washington, D.C., circa 1901. View of SW Block 386, probably D Street side of Baltimore Potomac Railroad Freight Station at Maryland D, 9th 10th Streets, showing man loading freight into delivery wagon. The bonus photo. The irresistible Samantha Fox in a 1967 photo shoot. Ladies and gentlemen, here we are at the end of our show. I hope you are impressed. See you again.